University of Cambridge International Examinations is the world's largest provider of international education programmes and qualifications for 5 to 19-year-olds. Cambridge Pre-U Global Perspectives and Research, GPR, is a post-16 qualification that provides excellent preparation for undergraduate study.
I chose to study the GPR because it gives you really good preparation for uni. The type of things you study during the course are really similar to the feel of university.
GPR enables learners to research global issues. They explore different perspectives and develop skills in critical thinking, research and communication.
We can link my school with schools in America, and indeed my students actually do interactive work with American students, and to get that global perspective firsthand is absolutely invaluable.
The first thing it does is it builds up those core academic skills, so they learn how to do research, to find articles, to find sources, to analyse arguments, to evaluate them and to communicate the results of that.
GPR is taught over 2 years. In the first year, learners study Cambridge Global Perspectives. In the second year, they choose a specialist area and prepare an extended project, a research report.
In the first year, our students do the Global Perspectives part of the course, and they do that in a much more traditional classroom environment. So they're all in the class together and they're taught by me, and we give them much closer support with building up the skills, testing out their answers and completing the first 3 parts of the assessment. In the second year it's quite different because they choose their own topics for their independent research report. We teach it in a much larger team from the college with teachers in different subject areas depending on what the students have chosen. So those classes are much more individual supervisions with 1 or perhaps 2 or 3 students.
Learners can choose from a range of 4 or more global topics.
We're looking at the topic of biofuels and particularly the production of ethanol fuel in America. And so we've taken that topic and found sources that interest us, and we're now defining questions of our own interest to produce a poster.
Learners research their global topics through themes, preparing them really well for their extended research project in Year 2.
We look at things that are technological, as well as environmental, as well as political and cultural. And often we try and find topics which will allow them to approach them in different ways. So for example, with biofuels, you can look at it from a political point of view, a technological point of view, as well as of course an environmental point of view.
Throughout the course, learners follow the critical path and study the skills of deconstruction, looking at a point of view in detail.
So they're learning how to identify and isolate sources for study, to take a topic, to break it down, to find the sources and to analyse those closely. What they've then got to do is they've got to reconstruct, they've got to place those sources into groups, into categories, into perspectives, and to work out a world view on something that's informed by a particular set of circumstances or factors. And then of course they've got to come to their own conclusions about it. They've got to reflect on the strength of those particular points of view, whether they accept them and what their own point of view on a topic is. They've got to be able to present their findings clearly. They've got to be able to communicate it either in essay form or in multimedia form to an audience and convince other people of their opinions.
My question today is, can modern neuroscience provide credible explanations for human behaviour? And if so, what are the implications? The presentation part of it has also been, again, a big help because it increases your self-confidence.
Right, can anyone name a country in Asia recently affected by COVID?
They've developed a tremendous amount of confidence. They are very adept at research. They are extremely good at accessing texts, extremely good at critical thinking and analysis and evaluation.
In the second year of study, learners design, plan and manage an extended research project.
I did my project on Shakespeare and whether the value of Shakespeare came from the quality of his writing or his references to contemporary culture, and it meant that I could sort of read from lots of academics about a subject that I was really passionate about.
The research report allows learners to consolidate the skills they have learned in the first year of the course.
When you're teaching the independent research report, it's a chance to really go into depth in your own subject, to explore things that you wouldn't be able to explore as part of A-level study. You're being led by the students' own interests and the sources they've found.
Instead of being a fairly straightforward chalk and talk teacher, it moves things forward, and from a practitioner's point of view, it feels more like I'm kind of crossing the boundaries between secondary education and higher education. So I actually get the chance to interact with the students on a far more one-to-one basis and in depth on their chosen field of research.
Universities value learners who are able to demonstrate independent learning skills.
Students need to understand that they at university will have to work a lot independently. So the best skills they can be developing are independent study and research skills.
Having studied the GPR, students are learning collaborative skills, the ability to kind of work well with other students, to assess cultural differences and relationship differences from their own perspective. And again, that's important on our campus.
Building up those skills of academic argument, analysis, evaluation, and really in slow stages, but by the end of the year, being very effective students, and that's very rewarding as a teacher to see.
To find out more about Cambridge Pre-U GPR or any of our other programmes and qualifications, please contact our customer services team.